I don't know, y'all. In a minute, they might have to call this show College Dropout instead of College Hill, okay? With the amount of people that's leaving this house, all right? Um, Sky Squad, we are back in the building, baby. We are back in the building, and we are going to be discussing College Hill season one, well, Celebrity Edition, season one, episode four, okay? I think the episode is titled, Y'all, We Gotta Talk About Ray J, okay? We gotta talk about Ray J. And so, listen, if you are in the building, if you are watching this show, chime down in the chatterization and let us know what you think and what you would rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. Also, let us know where you're watching from. Team Big Frida, Houston, Texas, in the building. Okay. I see you. Yes. Hit that like button when you come on into this room. Okay. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, baby. I'm so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that a lot of you guys seem to be really enjoying the show. You know, I didn't get a chance to review last week's episode because I was just behind on everything, and so I apologize for that. One of the things that really made me feel like I needed to jump back into the swing of this show is something that I read in the comments of one of the other videos, and I don't know if it was the Basketball Wives review or the fact that the Basketball Wives cast have been airing the show out. But a lot of you guys were saying, you know what, we like College Hill because, you know, it's drama, but it's not too intense and it just feels good. So I wanted to make sure that we do the doggone thing for College Hill Celebrity Edition and really dive into what's going on this show. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you guys to go ahead and give me your rating from 1 to 10. I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 because, and you guys let me know what you rated in the chatterization. I was going to give it an 8.5. I'm going to give it a 9 because, again, for me, the concept feels fresh. I love the characters on this show. They are much more likable than some of the other reality TV shows, even though Ray J is frustrating the H-E double out of me, okay? He is frustrating the H-E double out of me, all right? But we're going to talk about it as we proceed. Yes, I am a huge fan of Big Frida. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but I used to watch Big Frida's show. It is on Fuse. I think it's still on Amazon. It might still be on Amazon Prime. If you guys have not seen it, definitely watch because, baby, let me tell you something. That show was amazing, and Frida is equally as amazing here, as is Nene. Nene is feeling so fresh on the show. I love this version of Nene. And Ray J, baby, Ray J is such a diva, okay? Ray J is the diva of the house when you might think it would be somebody else, but it's actually him. So let's go ahead and dive into the episode, shall we? Okay. So we're back in biology, right? Here's the thing about what's going on with biology. Dream doesn't want to accept her grades in biology because it's her favorite class, but she, in the last episode, failed to take most of the quiz because she said she still had the pig stuff on her hands, on her gloves. Girl, take the gloves off, okay? Take the gloves off, wash your hands, use the pen, take the quiz. It's not rocket science, okay? So for her to still be in the bathroom mad, crying, and upset because she got a grade less than what she wanted to get, well, girl, you didn't complete the assignment, okay? In India, I don't know why she goes to the bathroom with her, but, you know, India is like, I'm not staying in this bathroom with you. Like, I got an opportunity here because I think for India, this really is a sort of chance at redemption because I think for her, she says that, you know, in high school, she didn't get good grades. So now she's seeing progress in her own, you know, education. And I feel like she's ready to get on the right foot. But Dream Doll, as India states, wants to stay in the bathroom and be a life-size Bratz doll, okay? Meanwhile, Ray J is just not going to class. For those of you guys who have not caught up on the episodes, his great aunt passed, we learned in the last episode, and he is going through a divorce with his wife. Now, my only question is this. When is Ray J not going through a divorce with his with Princess Love? When is that not the case? When I mean, for because I could have, it seems to me for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, and I could be wrong. I don't even know how long the people's married, but it seems to me like they always in the middle of a divorce. So I feel like this is routine for you, my friend. You should be used to this feeling, okay? I don't have as much sympathy for you because I feel like y'all are continuously going. Didn't y'all start the conversation show on Zeus? Wasn't that how the whole conversation started? And that's been some time ago. We have been through many conversations since then, as I assume you and your wife, ex-wife, or whatever have. And I think the conversations will continue because it looks like the two of you guys will be joining the cast of Love and Marriage, not Love and Marriage, Love and Hip Hop Miami. Okay. So to me, I'm not even like falling for this, oh, woe is me with regards to the divorce. Now, with the death in the family, I can understand a bit more. But in my mind, it's like, bro, to me, either you milking it for the emotion of it all, or just go home because you're gonna go. I mean, based on what we see, you're gonna go home anyway. It might just be better for you to just go home for a quick second, the way Slim Thug and the way Nene got to fly out for business. Go home for a second, regroup, handle your family business, and come on back. Okay, easy breezy. But all this melodrama that you giving us, moping around, hiding out in the room, the same way Stacey Dash was, okay? The same way Stacey Dash was, if we recall, when you told her if she didn't want to adhere to whatever rules y'all was making up at the time, then she can get the F out, right? So now you the one moping around. And I was about to say they should just switch rooms on him. But what we find out in the episode is Ray J don't have a permanent room. Ray J stay wherever it's a couch. Why? Because his roommate Lamar is a mess. Okay, he is a mess, a complete mess. All right, a sloppy mess, pretty much. And if I was Ray J, I wouldn't want to stay up in that room either. No wonder why he was so hell bent on. And y'all know I don't even curse like that, but this is the second time I done cursed today. Lord forgive me. But anyway, he just frustrates me. Okay, look, he frustrates me, and Lamar is nasty. Okay. Anyway, for African American Studies class, they go and they visit what appears to be a mock slave quarters, and it really does. When you see what the slave quarters look like, it is really kind of like, how did people live like that during those times? Because you might think that where you live at right now is small, okay? Because we all have been through it, right? But then when you look at that and you put it in perspective, I mean, it just really changes your mentality about how we speak about our lives sometimes. Meanwhile, Frida Dream and India have some sort of spiritual release party where they releasing negative feelings and emotions and throwing the. Now, this was wild to me, okay? If you got a pool in the backyard and y'all gonna take the papers that you done wrote, the names of the people that you want to burn, or the emotions and the self-doubt and the self-hate that you want to burn, and then you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna light the paper while it's still in my hands. Okay, that's number one, with this little blowtorch lighter. And then I'm just going to toss the papers in the pool. Okay. I don't know why that don't make no sense to me, because I'm thinking to myself, if I got a pool in the backyard, whether it's mine, Productions, or whomever, why would I throw the paper and ashes into the pool? That don't make no sense to me. I was kind of like, now what? Y'all don't care nothing about this house. Y'all don't care nothing about this house. And I not like all three of them, but I'm like, y'all don't care nothing about this house at all, okay? Because I mean, and I don't know who doing the cleaning, because every time I look around, stuff is askew. I mean, my desk is right now askew, but my desk be filled with props that I need to be able to grab at a moment's notice. I got a random hand over here. There's a wig on the floor. Okay. There's a speaker right here that I might use as a telephone. Remotes to the TV over here. Cameras, microphones, random thing of ginger, okay, in case my stomach get upset. I get it. You know, things pile up, but right, okay. Somebody asked about it's a dreadlock wig, okay. I needed it for something, and when you see it later, it's a video I did for my other channel. You'll understand why I got it over here. And there's a bottle of water somewhere around here, okay. It might be a cup of tea if I'm feeling in the mood for it. But what I'm saying is, they don't keep up with this house that well, okay. They live in a little like the Slavs. Meanwhile, so they got to go to the biology final. All right. They try to wake Ray J up. And of course, Ray J be sleep. See, this is what I don't understand. Ray J be sleeping all his clothes. Okay. And when I say all his clothes, I mean jackets, sweatshirts, robes, I mean hats, you know, everything. Like, and so I just be wondering, like, are you giving us melodrama or what? I really don't understand. So anyway, the rest of the house is like, we got to go take our final exam. Okay. So half of the group goes, and then Lamar is stuck with Ray J because he can't find his phone. I wonder why. If you've seen his room, you will understand. Okay. Slim, for some reason, shows up to class, but he got a show, so he got to go. So I'm like, what you even come for? You should have just went to the airport or wherever you got your show at, okay, and then come back later, which is going to lead to him getting an incomplete, spoiler alert, on his biology final. But he does have a release from the principal, not the principal, the teacher, the professor, so that he can come back and do it again later. Ray and Lamar show up to class late, okay, and Ray J expects special treatment, okay, from the professor because he has had a death in the family. That would be all right, sir, if you had let her know you had a death in the family. But Ray J is what they call at the workplace a no call, no show. Okay. You didn't call her, you didn't text her, email her, send a pigeon carrier, nothing. You didn't say a word to her. You did not email this lady about nothing. And as a student, I think we all know, whether you've been a student or not, okay, it's just common courtesy that, yo, I got to actually contact these folks to let them know I'm not coming and what's going on so that I can have sympathy and empathy for my situation, okay? So when the teacher's like, well, you didn't let me know nothing, Ray J's just like, I mean, you're not even going to give me any condolences? No, that's not my job. My job is here to give you this final, okay? You're not going to get any special treatment from me. And I'm answering your first question about what it is that you need to do and why it is that you're in the state that you're in right now. Okay. And so he just kind of sits there and he pouts and whatnot. They got to dissect the pig again, and Frida get to crying because she got to open up the brains. Okay. And I'm like, now I don't remember opening up the pig brain when I was in biology, but I only took biology in high school. All I remember was dissecting a frog. And never did the teacher say, knock this frog upside the head and take out the brains or whatnot. But they got to take out the pig brain and look at it or something like that. Nene not touching this thing at all. Okay, number one, she not touching it. But Frida can't get through it. Frida get to crying. I mean, I'm talking bawling crying because she just feels so bad for this pig. But you done already dissected the pig, so I don't know. But it is what it is. Next thing you know, so they finish that and they all go back to the messy house. Okay. Nene got to dip out for some business. Okay. And then next thing you know, it's Sunday Fun Day. So Frida, Dream, and India goes out to the camp in Houston. I would have went with them if I was to be honest with you, I would have went with them if I was Slim. Okay. Because Slim gets stuck going to 13 with Lamar. Lamar seems all continue, like Lamar always seems out of it to me. Like he don't ever really seem like I feel like Lamar has a lack of focus or something like that. And I'm not necessarily sure if this is a in relation to things that he's experienced before, but he just doesn't seem to be very good company to me. And so for that reason, I would have chosen to go with Frida, Dream, and India specifically because I felt like Slim is attracted to both India and Dream Doll. And to be honest with you, Camp looked more lit to me. Now, to be honest with you, I would have chosen to go to camp because I have been to camp and I know what camp gives. Okay. And camp, if you have never been there, what they showed you on the TV was pretty mild. It must have been rather early in the day. Okay. Because camp gets super lit. Talk to anybody that lives in Houston that's been to camp and you will know. Now, I've never been to 13, but it looked pretty lit too. I'm just saying, based on the company involved, Slim and Lamar should have went with the group to camp. And I just feel like that would have been a better fun. You know what I'm saying? Like more fun. You know what I mean? Chime down in the chat real quick if you have ever had to dissect something and what it was. For me, I told y'all it was a frog. For them, it was a pig. Okay. Let me know in the chat what you guys have had to dissect because I see Rob dissected a frog too. Okay. Now, moving right along. Got to move it. The conversations while the ladies are at camp turns to basically whether or not they got a crush on anybody, and neither Dream nor India is into Slim whatsoever. And they say that Lamar is basically like a drunk uncle. And when asked by Frida if there was only those three guys left in the universe, to choose from, which of the three they would choose, and India and Dream would choose India. That's telling you how much of attraction there is for the ladies in the house towards these men. And I see why, especially for Ray J and Lamar, because Ray J is a lot to deal with. Ray J is a whole lot to deal with, to be quite honest with you. And whether or not he is putting on for the camera, I really don't know. But what I do know is what I get on camera, what I get on this show, it will frustrate the mess out of me in real life. And if that is what he is like with his wife, it is no wonder why they continue to have issues. I remember him being somewhat like this on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And again, I can never tell whether or not this is an act or not, but the continued behavior leads me to think that this is in truth his genuine personality. So to me, I think that, again, I'm not trying to drag the man, but he just frustrates me. And the other thing that frustrates me, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want to offend anybody who does partake in the smokerization, okay? Because what you choose to do with yourself and how you do it is whatever you do. I don't care. But with regards to him trying to hit those notes at the versus battle, now I understand why he can barely hit those notes. If you are a singer, and I know quite a singers that do the smokerization, but if you are a singer and you are continuously chain smokerization, okay, then it will be no wonder why you cannot hit the notes to one wish, because your esophagus is so filled with the smokerization that no note can penetrate the dark realm of smokerization that is festering within the esophageal cavity. Okay? I just had to say that. Any person that's a singer will tell you that you either got to either be very well practiced, trained, rehearsed, experienced to smoke and sing, or you got to not do the smokerization. Okay. So this show has helped inform my opinion of perhaps why it is that he is struggling in this day and age, at his age, with hitting notes that he probably could have hit very easily when he was younger. Okay. Meanwhile, it's time to get grades for African American studies and for biology. Now, for biology, they are only in that class for a week. For African American studies, this is their midterms. Now, I didn't write down everybody's grade because I was like, um, I just didn't. And but I did write down the grades that were key to our discussion. Okay. Now, for biology, I think Slim's got the incomplete. Okay, Lamar gets the C plus. These are the lower grades. The fact that Lamar keeps getting the roundabout grades that Ray J is getting, and Lamar is actually showing up for class, it makes me wonder what's actually happening in class that is making him get these low grades. It almost seems to me like half of these people are getting very high marks for the participation of it all, right? So to me, and I'm sure that they have quizzes and things like that, and so maybe that's where he's falling short. But for Lamar to be getting the same grades as Ray J or worse, who is not showing up to class, we have a problem, Lamar. But if Lamar's goal is mainly just to get through it, fine. But Ray J is not too pleased with getting a C plus in biology, though he was barely even there. Just like last week, he was mad at getting a bad grade, like he got a C or something like that, I think, and he would have preferred an incomplete. No, sir, you don't want an incomplete when you're in school. That sounds crazy to me. You never want an incomplete. At least get yourself the C so you got a grade. With an incomplete, that's borderline zero. Like, so to me, I'm like, bro, what are you complaining about? You didn't even show up and you got a C. You should be happy about that. Okay. So then of course, he gets real upset when Ray J finds out he got a C. Okay. So for African American studies, another class for which Ray has not made it to on a consistent basis, he gets a D, which is the lowest score out of anybody. Now, granted, as Frida and the rest of the crew try to tell Ray J, this is only the midterm. You still have time to turn it around, because I will give enough grace to say that when somebody passes and when life piles on you, yes, things do tend to get a little, you just don't feel motivated. But at the same time, it's like the wild thing is to me, y'all don't, he didn't know what Stacy was going through when he made his declarations about you either follow what we do or you get the F out of here. He gave her no amount of grace at all. So now he expects the teachers to give him grace for not showing up. But not only are you not showing up, you're not communicating. You're not even putting in any effort to make it feel like you are trying to be included in the process of the education that's going on, for which one of the professors had to remind one of them, it is a privilege for you to be here. Okay. This is something that you are able to do. Yes, it is for a TV show, but there are people who are striving to get into these colleges, and you have just been able to waltz in and breeze in and do this experience. And you're not even going to at least fulfill any bit of obligation that you would have as a student to not even just participate, go to class, but at least communicate what you're going through so that they can have that level of empathy that you are requesting. I don't understand that. So then when he finds out that he gets this D in African American studies, I think he went off and he had his temper tantrum, but then he kind of broke down and cried. Now, this to me is probably the moment where I felt like I had the most empathy for him, because I understand it. he was crying and he was, talking about how he was feeling like he wasn't there for his family. Now, at this point in time, I get it. Okay. That part I get, which is why I stated earlier, it, grief is a very difficult thing to maneuver through, right? And especially when someone in your family passes, it is a very difficult thing to go through. So that's why I stated earlier, he should have left probably right then and there when that happened, because when someone passes, the most difficult thing to do is to be away from your family when that is happening. So I kind of wish, and I can't. It's so difficult for me to. I hate even criticizing him, but there were definitely things that he could have done differently to mitigate this situation and to make it better for himself, for his colleagues, as well as his professors, and also for his family, because he could have just done the right thing, communicated what was going on, taken a beat to deal with the family stuff, and then come back. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, he has a level of entitlement that I think is bothersome for not only the cast, but the professors, and also me and y'all as a viewer, right? It's the entitlement of it all. It's the expectation that I'm going to be given this because I am Ray J, and you should acquiesce to me because I am Ray J. I'm the star of the show. I feel like somebody even said that to him in the episode that he was the star of the show, and it's like, I don't know about that. Okay, you're definitely the diva of the show, but I mean, I don't know. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, they try to talk him, they try to talk some sense to him, like, you know what, let's kind of get this thing back on track for you, Ray J, because there's an opportunity here for you to turn things around because this is only the midterm. But at that point in time, um, he is just not hearing it, and he announces to the group that he quits. And so next week we'll see him packing up his stuff for what will allegedly be a short trip home. But as they are looking at all 16 of his sloppily packed bags, it's looking like he's not returning. So who knows what is going to happen with Ray J? And to be quite fair, I will say if he did experience the death in the family, that would definitely be enough for me to say, okay, if you didn't want to come back, I definitely understand it. But it's just so wild to me the way that, and granted, listen, I do not like Stacey Dash's previous politics. I don't like the things that Stacey Dash has said. I don't think that beyond being in the movie Clueless, we should have ever known that much about her. Okay. But I do believe that the way he treated her was so poor. And then for him to go through his own situations in which he's unable to cope is just so wild to me how this has all come back around. And now he's the one who is not wanting to get out of the bed, not wanting to leave the room, not wanting to be around the group. It's so wild, right? So we'll say this and we'll let it go. Nobody ever wants to experience any type of death in the family. So we do send, condolences to him and his family for that, because that's never an easy thing to experience. So I don't want to discount that, but it's the entitlement that's going along with that behavior that was there already before that happened that is irking my spirit today. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in and tapping into this review. I hope I didn't go too hard for you guys, but that's just the real on how I was feeling. And we had to just go ahead and state it, and it needed to be said. Okay, it needed to be said, and that's all I could do today. I'm tired, and I can't give you politically correct today. Okay, y'all know I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next video.